We have run out of fuel. What should we do now?
On September 11, 2018, the world's largest twin-jet passenger aircraft departed from Delhi to New York on a 14-hour journey with 357 passengers who could have never imagined what was in store for them. As plane approached JF Kennedy International Airport for its second attempt to land, the pilots realized that the lives of the passenger lay in their hand in truest sense. The aircraft was experiencing several electrical failures, disabled vital instruments, and was even running on low fuel. Outside, heavy rain and clouds gathered around the runway, making it nearly impossible to see. With every passing moment, the limited fuel was depleting, highlighting the urgency of the situation. They had to land now. Did the pilots successfully manage the complex situation for which they were never trained, or did they panic, putting the lives of the people on board at risk? This is the heart-wrenching and heroic story of Air India Flight 101. Air India Flight 101 departed from Delhi Indira Gandhi International Airport at around 1:45 am to a 15-hour journey with a full airplane of 342 passengers and 15 crew members. In the cockpit, there were 4 pilots instead of 2 due to the intense non-stop journey of 12,000 kilometers it had to undertake. Captain Rustam Palia requested an additional 800 kilos of fuel, a decision that would prove crucial later. Accompanying him were the Captain Sushant Singh along with co-pilot Captain D.S. Bhatti and Captain Vikas. During briefing, the captain were informed of the aircraft issue on the previous flight from Mumbai to Delhi. Nevertheless, assuming that the weather in New York was clear, they ignored this, considering it safe to fly. Little did they know that their words would soon come back to haunt them. The flight used the polar route over Pakistan, Afghanistan, Russia, Finland, Greenland, and Canada. After 14 minutes of takeoff, the plane reached cruising altitude. Imagine this. The instrument that tells how high the plane is above the ground started failing, leaving only one in working condition. With only one altimeter remaining, hope hung by a thread. Pilots could not fully trust it because it might give wrong signals during takeoff and landing. Then, over the Atlantic Ocean, with only 3 hours left to reach New York, the traffic collision avoidance system also ceased working. This system warns pilots of the presence of other aircraft nearby and gives instruction to avoid mid-air collision. So its failure was a clear sign of threat. It was like the plane was falling apart bit by bit, making every moment a real nightmare for the pilots. It was only when they had descended from 38,000 to 2,000 feet and were about 14 miles out from JFK Airport that they discovered a more serious problem, which made all of the previous issues seem small in comparison. The failure of other 2 altimeters also caused the instrument landing system to stop functioning. Remember, it's really important to understand ILS, as it played a huge role in the story. All they knew was that they needed to safely land without any casualties, but none of the instruments meant to help them were operational. There was no time to think. Despite the failure of their usual landing gear, they didn't give up. Instead, they relied on a backup system called lateral navigation and vertical navigation, which works with other planes' GPS. While not as accurate as ILS, it was their best choice for a safe landing. As the pilots approached the runway, they heard a loud, piercing noise through the cockpit door, warning that the landing gear was undone. It was indeed a heart-stopping moment, intensified by the possibility of a disastrous landing. But in a surprising twist, it turned out to be a false alarm. Yet, this distraction led to a crucial setback. The plane climbed back to 2000 feet, undoing all the previous attempts. Just when it seemed that they were at the edge of disaster, they got in touch with the New York controller. Due to this false alarm, which was still a significant distraction, pilots informed ATC that they were not ready for landing and needed some time to fix their problem. Now, to find out what happened next, it's important to understand a bit about cloud cover. The cloud ceiling is like a giant lid in the sky, determines whether planes can fly beneath it. If the layer of clouds cover more than half of the sky, it acts as a barrier, forcing flight to stay grounded until it clears up. In short, we don't fly if the cloud ceiling is too low. No, as the pilots were running the plane manually, they needed at least a 600-foot ceiling to land the plane. Due to poor and extreme weather conditions in New York, JFK Airport had a cloud ceiling of only 200 feet, making it impossible to land there. What made the pilots worry most was that after such a long flight, they didn't have enough fuel left to reach alternate nearby airports like Boston or Washington with a 600-foot cloud ceiling. The pilots had to conserve every drop for multiple landing attempts at JFK Airport, if necessary, which is why they constantly asked for weather updates from ATC, hoping for a break in the clouds and a chance to touch down safely amidst the scary storm. The best option suggested by ATC was Newark Airport. Despite its cloud ceiling being only 400 feet high, this fell short of pilots' expectation, but they had no other choice. It was a tense moment, a decision between the devil and the deep blue sea. This was the moment when the captain had to make choice that would determine the fate of 357 passengers, all of whom had placed blind faith in their pilots, with 7,200 kilos of fuel left, just enough to make it to New York. The pilots knew they had to act fast. Meanwhile, the passenger had no idea about the gravity of the situation they were in. They were simply informed that the plane was being diverted to Newark due to a technical issue. The pilots descended toward the runway without any normal equipment, viewing this as their last chance for success. Despite the worsening fuel situation, as the plane descended through the thick white sheet of cloud, they realized something was wrong. The plane wasn't coming down as it should and was flying higher than the ideal descent. Captain spotted 4 lights on the ground that showed how well they were landing. All 4 lights were white, suggesting they were both too high and also to the left. It was now or never for Captain Palia. He decided to increase the rate of descent by lowering the nose of the plane, which increased airspeed, further blocking their ability to open the final flaps for landing. It was a risky move, but they are only shot at landing safely. As Captain Palia spotted the runway, he relied on his judgment and instincts, and finally the plane landed safely. The anxious emotions and the thoughts of going near death for all passengers come to an end. It was due to the skills and calmness of the pilots that everyone on board was able to breathe a sigh of relief. Looking back, the pilots saw it as nothing short of miracle, as soon after shutting off the engines, the clouds burst and rain poured down. If the crew had delayed their approach by 5 minutes or had to make a second go around, they would never have been able to land. Unfortunately, the root cause of these numerous instrument failures remains unknown, as neither an incident report nor an investigation report has been released by Air India. However, the plane was flown back to India the next day as ferry flight for relocation.